And welcome back tonight to Hannity as we continue covering the developing story out of Florida and the death of Trayvon Martin. Now, according to a newly released CNN poll, when asked if George Zimmerman should be arrested for the shooting, 73% said he should, 11% said he should not, and 16% had no opinion. Joining me now to talk about how the media's coverage of this tragedy is shaping public opinion, Fox News contributor Jacques DeGraff, radio talk show host David Webb. Guys, welcome back. All right, so we now have one eyewitness that we know of for sure that is saying, you know, that, hang on a second, Trayvon was actually hitting Zimmerman. None of us were there. This is all coming out in dribs and drabs. Is the media irresponsible in their coverage?
The media has been irresponsible in this for a couple of reasons, Sean. One, the police are never going to release all the information. They shouldn't. That compromises prosecutions. Instead of having witnesses properly interviewed, they've created a media firestorm. Then you get the usual race hustlers that come out of this. Sharpton, Baisden, Jackson, they come out and they play the narrative. Zimmerman is a half Hispanic man, but they play the black-white narrative as that's what it is. So the media picks up on that, and then they get together, Media Matters and all the groups, and they push this because they're using Trayvon Martin, a tragedy, where basically two bad elements collided here. Zimmerman should not have gone against the advice of the 9/11 operator.
This is
the 911.
Because the 911 guy said, we don't need you to do that.
Right. So he went beyond that, which was stupid, ill-advised, not illegal. And then these two elements collide and bad things happen and a young man is fatally shot.
Isn't it likely that Trayvon, and I'll throw this to you, Jacques, was at that point was probably running, and even, I guess, the girlfriend, what she has said publicly now confirms that he was running from a guy that he thought was chasing him. I mean, and then at that point, he might have. In other words, do you know what I'm saying?
He was in. I think everyone would agree he was in unfamiliar surroundings. Yeah. He was not a community that he was aware of. He did not know about the burglaries in the other houses, as Zimmerman claims to have done. So we can give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that a strange man accosted him in some fashion. I don't think that that's an unreasonable leap. I think, to get to your original question about the media, however, Sean, I'm now in my 12th year on your show. Yeah. 12 years ago when I first came on, it was around Amadou Diallo, another person under another set of circumstances.
41 shots.
And the issue, the real issue, I believe, is the media and coverage over the years is why are we still having this conversation? And why aren't we hearing what Mitt Romney would do about it? Why aren't we hearing what Newt Gingrich or Rick Santorum would do about it? If they would run for the presidency of the United States and they would be in charge of appointing a head of a Justice Department, we have asked them everything else, and this same media has not asked them a mumbling word.
I've asked them. I've asked all three.
They've issued statements, but they've not addressed that.
I've asked them about it, but that's a different issue. Go ahead.
But you know, here's the thing, and I disagree with that. Elevating this beyond what it needs to be handled. Yes, a fair review, Jennifer Carroll, Lieutenant Governor, leading that of the law. By a fair review of the task force, a fair review of what the police did to make sure procedure was done. That's all required. That's a state-level issue. I don't like the fact that we have a walking in of presidential influence in this, because it does have an effect. When you add that to the combined efforts of Sharpton, Jackson, Baisden, Joe Madison, all of them that go down there and lead this march and change the narrative for the nation, they fail to do on Trayvon's side what you do in crisis management. They put out this angelic figure, and we see a 12-year-old picture. As other facts flow out, we now see a different narrative. And the country's basically looking at this, and this is a backlash possibility for Trayvon's side, if you will, that it could be that people just go, you fooled me once if this goes the other way. I'm not absolving or convicting either one.
But those aren't facts. That's conjecture. The fact of the matter is another unarmed African-American is dead. And it has happened not only in Florida, it's happened in New York on repeated instances over all of these 12 years. Yeah, but it's happened with Sean Bell. It happened with
we don't know what led to that.
In each of the instances, no, but in New York we do.
Can I ask you one question?
In New York we do.
Issue.
But that's the national. It's a national issue.
But there are. Why is there the racial component in this respect? Now, if it's an issue of racial profiling, I'm with you. I think that's worthy of a national discussion to end it, and I would agree with you, because we don't want to see any more 17-year-old kids die. There are plenty of crimes that are committed that have racial components in this country on all sides that are never discussed. True?
Right, the burning of a white teen in Kansas City. You know, we have Chicago, 42 shots, 6-year-old girl shot in her front yard. Where are Sharpton, Jackson, and the others leading the charge in the black community?
They're national civil rights leaders. No one is claiming the girls' civil rights were violated.
Okay, but
they are the respected leaders of the African-American community, and you are not. You're a commentator.
No,
they are leaders.
You know what? And my voice is just as valid as theirs, so don't you dare go there.
No. How many people have followed you anywhere? How many people have followed you anywhere?
Truth does not require follow.
Yes, it does.
And when you get a guy that started his ground with Tawana Brawley, he has very little to speak about.
When Al Sharpton showed up, 30,000 people showed up. When you showed up, how many people have showed up?
All right, here's my point. We get lost in this argument rather than tackling the real solution.
But I'm found.
Well, here's my point anyway, if I can make it. If you want to really tackle the problems in the black community, tackle them honestly. When you go out and you push a narrative in a situation in a community that's 49% black as being a white community and a black kid gets killed, you do a disservice to tackling actual racist issues. Zimmerman, in my estimation, I think most credible, saw an identity. It would happen to be a black person in that. He could have seen a Mexican, an Asian, or whatever. He saw a hoodie, an identity, whatever it was, and that's what this seems like.
He said a black male. He said it's a black male.
He did say that.
He did say that.
In the tape.
My point is this. Reasonable people can disagree with the points that you and I have disagreed with. What I'm simply saying is, with him not being arrested, it would not be unreasonable for him to explain before a judge what happened. That's a public policy issue.
But under the law, and we have a legal structure in this country, and to be fair, both sides are entitled to legal process and due process. The police investigate. It's a potential murder.
And you do have this one eyewitness that is also, they knew about at the time. But we're going to have to end it here, not because we don't want to continue the discussion. We will, I'm sure, in the days to come. Thank you both for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Sure.
And still ahead.